If you've ever wanted to learn how to write over $5 million a year in annuity volume, Level Up Advisors Academy was built for you. In this academy, we talk about things like how to do massive annuity production, assets under management, big whole life and IUL cases. Look, 5 years ago, before I built this product, I didn't even know how to spell the word annuity, but a simple system that I learned allowed me to write over $5 million a year in annuity production and now over $10 million a year. I took what I know, the system that I've built, and I put it into Level Up Advisors Academy for you to be able to have access to it 24/7 on demand. If you've ever want to take your business to the next level, this academy was built for you. Click the link below to get access today. Look forward to working with you in the future. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Agent's Edge. My name is Ryan Polimeni. Today we're going to talk about winning in the morning, winning throughout the day. Now this is an important topic because your day and the way that it's structured makes all the difference. Because here's the thing, if you're going to be a business owner, I don't care if you're 1099, a salesperson, you have to treat your business like a business. And that starts with taking control of your schedule and of your day. And I want you to think about this for a second because this is where I had a really tough time making a transition from, working a full-time job to becoming a full-time business owner. And the difference is the way that my days were structured. Meaning this, when I was a full-time server at a restaurant, that was I promise you, before I got into this, I was a server. I was the worst server of all time. But before I came into the financial world, as a server, I was told when I had to be there, when the shift ended, and what to do between there. It allowed me to have structure to be able to come in and know what I had to accomplish to make money and leave, okay? But when I started making the transition to becoming a business owner and becoming my own boss, independent, the problem was I didn't have that structure. So I became a professional desk organizer. You know what I'm talking about. Some of you watch this, you know what I'm talking about. Your desk looks great, but you ain't got any sales for the week, right? That was me. And it took me a long time to really understand, okay, I have to figure out a way to discipline myself. And it starts from the moment I wake up to the moment that I go to bed. And I remember talking to one of my mentors earlier on about this and going, look, I'm struggling. I don't know what to do. I've never been a boss before. I've never been a business owner. But at that time, I didn't have any staff, didn't have any office. It was just me. And I didn't know how to structure those days. And so somebody really helped me kind of sit down and figure out hour by hour. Yes, if you're really struggling and you really want to know how to get this thing the right way to where you're focused all day long, you have to do it hour by hour, even half-hour increments if need be. But it starts with your morning, and I think that the morning plays a huge role. So if you are the kind of person that is a morning person, you wake up, you got a ton of energy, then I would suggest go work out. Take a half hour, work out in the morning, get the blood flowing, do whatever you have to do, have a really good breakfast. And part of my morning routine is reading every single morning. Why? Because I like to get my mind sharp. I like to be able to be focused throughout the day. In order to achieve doing this at a very high level, you have to, again, structure your morning, but also structure your night. So there are times when I'm reading, like, again, if you're going to do this in the morning, when I'm reading, I will read a leadership book in the morning and a business book at night. So I always have two books going at the same time, but one is on different topics. It allows me to get through a lot more books in a year, but it allows me to be thinking differently about different topics as well. And I think that spending time to read during the day will play such a big role on your success. And you could read anything you want, but what I would recommend reading are things about your business. Now, a lot of the times at night, you should be studying product. That's what I was doing a lot. If I wasn't reading a book, I was studying product guides. I was studying my industry, studying people who are at the very top of my industry, because at night is non-income producing activities. In the morning when you're waking up, you got to get your mind right, you got to get sharp, and you got to get ready for the day. Because here's the thing, I talk a lot about this. Clarity is so important. Clarity on the mission, clarity on what you're trying to accomplish, and clarity as to where your business is going plays such a vital role. Now, I don't care if you were like me 12 years ago, didn't have a team, didn't have a staff, working from my little one-bedroom apartment. You still have to have clarity, because I didn't back then, and allowed me to get unfocused very quickly. The minute that something came up, I picked up calls from my mom and dad throughout the day. I wouldn't do that if I was at work unless it was an emergency. But during the day, you tend to go on the computer. You do a little more on the internet. You pick up the phone. You have hour-long conversations with people you normally wouldn't have those conversations with if you were at a job. And that's how you have to treat it. So to become a business owner, you have to treat it like a job at first. Then you can get the disciplines that allow you to become that business owner. All right. So the morning, breakfast, workout, reading. Those could be 3 things that could really help get your morning going. Then what does your time at your office look like? Whether it's a home office or if you're physically going to an office, what does that time look like? How many appointments do you have? Do you have 1? Do you have 10? Because I promise you this, if you have 1 appointment, you are going to waste a lot of time throughout the day. You should have 3 to 5 appointments every single day. Some of you are going 3 to 5 appointments. How do I do that? You need a lot more leads. You need a lot more activity. You need a lot more referrals. And you need to make a lot more connections. Because an appointment doesn't necessarily have to be a sales appointment. It could be an appointment with a connection that could lead you to referrals, that could lead you to other opportunities. But you have to be talking to people because people are your business. I don't care what you sell. People are your business. That means that they have what you want, which is money. So you have to make an exchange. You have to make an exchange for either a service or a good in exchange for the money that they have. So the more people that you see throughout the day, the faster your business is going to grow. Look, there is no magic formula. People ask me all the time, how do you do $10 million plus in volume? How do you do the kind of production that you do? And honestly, there's no secret formula other than I talk to a lot more people than most of you. It's just the reality. I'm not trying to brag, but I talk to more people in a day and in a week than most people do in a 2 to a month span. That's the difference. My calendar is full from 9 a.m. to 5 a.m. every single day. Every hour on the hour, I have stuff to do, especially during our busy season. I mean, sometimes it's every half hour. And I'm talking to different people, and so should you. Again, so how many appointments are first appointments? How many appointments are second appointments? Because think about this. If you're, no matter what industry you're in, especially if you're in sales watching this, you should be talking to at least 10 to 15 brand new first appointments every single week. And a first appointment is your initial contact with that person. So if you have 15 first appointments in a week, 7 to 10 of them should be a second appointment. You're going to find some people in there that are just not interested. They don't fit your model, whatever you're trying to sell them, and that's okay. But imagine this. Imagine having 10 second appointments the following week and 15 more first appointments. Now you have 25 appointments over a 5-day period. And now the funnel keeps growing and growing and growing. And that should be happening every single week. You want to know how to do $10 million a year in production? Well, 25 to 30 appointments every single week. And I'm talking about high-end, high-net-worth client type of appointments. It's not difficult. It's not rocket science. It's a lot of activity. It's a lot of leads. It's getting in front of a lot of people. And it's putting a lot of time, energy, and effort into marketing. Now, if you're just starting, the relationships are probably going to be a lot more important because you may not have the funds to dump a lot of money into your marketing, and that's okay. Use what you have. Use your friends, your family, your connections, right? Don't be afraid to tell people what you do. There's this embarrassment about not wanting to be embarrassed to your friends because you don't want to tell them you don't want to feel like you're selling them something. They probably have a need for what you're offering. If you're in the life insurance world, guess what? Everybody needs it. And how many people do you know that have died that didn't have insurance? And you're their friend, or you're their family member, and your family member didn't have life insurance and they died even though you offer it. Imagine that. So why are we afraid to offer what we're selling? If you're in real estate, everybody's going to buy a home eventually. Everybody knows somebody that wants to buy a home. How about if you're in the mortgage business? So on and so forth. So use what you have available to you. Make a few sales, bring in a little bit of money, and then start reinvesting into marketing if that's the way that it has to go. If you've got some money in your pocket, then put it right into. My point is this. Your day should be filled with activity. Income producing activity. I think that at night, finding networking events is a great way to also meet people. Some of the biggest sales of my career have come from using networking events, not necessarily just using leads. So again, maybe that's where you have to start. And I do think that networking plays a really big role in you growing your business. Again, because people are your business. The more people you meet, the more connections you have, the bigger your business is going to grow. So fill your calendar from morning to afternoon to evening. And then in the evening, what does it look like? What's your daily discipline? Maybe that's the time where you go work out if you're not a morning person. I would always recommend finishing the night with a good book because, again, go to bed with your mind sharp, wake up, sharpen your mind, start your day. So be a slave to your schedule because there will be a point where you're going to have staff that are going to control your calendar at some point, but you have to keep that going. You have to keep the consistency going where it's always full. Thanks for watching this episode of The Agent's Edge. I hope this has been helpful. Look forward to seeing you on the next show. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. We'll see you on the next show.